Welcome back to the Social Seller Podcast with Conor Paulsen, where we interview the world's highest quality communicators, professionals, business owners, creatives, and everything in between. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're a high quality communicator, there's a good chance you're living a lot happier life, but you're also bringing those opportunities into your life almost like a magnet. My guarantee is that on this show, we only interview people that I, one, look up to, and two, that I know are going to continue to kill the game for years to come, and I want to make sure they're on your radar. But what I've learned is by asking the best questions, we get the best responses, and that's what the highest quality communicators, our social sellers, are all about. Let's hop inside to the Social Seller Podcast. Mia, it is so good to have you back.
Hi. I know. What a morning.
Oh my gosh. Interesting, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can't wait till a picture comes out and shows how we adapted today
for sure.
and why the video quality is just going to be unreal. We're going to go straight in. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited, Mia, to not only have you back, you are a return guest, and that's a very small list, right?
I know.
It's
I feel
one
honored.
of two. Yes, absolutely. And what you're doing at 27 years old, you have a 7-figure business. That's
Allegedly.
You're on track, right?
Yeah.
And you're surpassed six figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, in the sense of how quickly you've done it, the adversity you've gone through, and I know we talked about that in the previous conversation. In today's special, this is a Mother's Day special, and we were talking beforehand, with Mother's Day coming up in the next few days, it only makes sense to dedicate it to the mothers in the world. Yep. Not only like you, just a boss mom that takes care of business, and your daughter, Aliyah, that's going to turn 2 in August.
Yep.
A fellow Leo. I'm excited. So yeah, bring me up to speed. What has the last 5-6 months look like for you?
Yeah, so it's been a lot. It's been a lot of lessons. It's been so much learning. 2021 has been my year of rediscovering myself, rediscovering what I want in life, and making it happen. It's, if I want it, I have to get up early. If I want it, I have to do it. It's just a matter of doing it and getting my teeth kicked in some days and fucking up and getting those moments where I'm like, man, I never want to make this mistake again, right? Because having your own business, in anything that you do, it's not even your business. It's like, you're going to make mistakes. And saying like, oh yeah, failure, I'm great with it. No, you're not. Nobody is. But then living that and remembering I'm not a failure, I'm just learning. Everybody, if you think that you're not learning anymore, you're done. Yep. So it's being okay with that, where I've always been somebody that I've just succeeded, right? I've never, in my personal life, there's been so much adversity. I've overcome so many different types of struggles and obstacles.
Can you mention just a few that
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I was sexually assaulted at a very young age by my brother's best friend in my childhood home. I knew him since I was 2 years old. Yeah. That was my first experience of really realizing what the world was like. And then I got a stalker, and that was a 7-year stint of my life. And it was vacuum cleaner heads going missing, and doorknobs being on the wrong way, and window screens going missing, and then 3 abductions. The last one resulting in a very, very life-changing sexual assault. And that brought me to California. At that point it was not a possibility for there to be justice. Chain of custody for the evidence was mishandled, and that was it. Yeah. And they had no intention of stopping, so I had to leave. When my life changed like that, my mom moved me out here. The amount of struggle that you go through, and then after that, it was move to California, come out here, okay, starting over again. And at 17, it's not an easy thing to do, especially dealing with things that no woman should go through, right? Yeah. But then being 17 and just thinking, okay, I know what my life is going to be like. Academically, that was always where I shined. All of a sudden, Ivy League was not a possibility anymore because I could not even get out of sleeping with my mom. Yeah. We shared a bed until I was 19 years old. Wow. And yeah, embarrassing.
No, but with the context, it only makes sense.
Yeah, right? But it was that was my life. And so my dreams changed, and they changed, and they changed. And it was adapting and adapting and adapting. And then abusive relationships. And, it's just, my life has been a Lifetime movie. Yeah. And with sequels and part 3s, and I feel like I'm a Star Wars movie. But
what
for,
part
trauma.
are we in right now? What would this title of this sequel be called?
The Reason Why.
The Reason Why?
Yeah, for sure. It's when I look back at my life and I see everything, those moments where you're just why is this happening? And holding on to any ounce of faith of don't change. Like I said, my mom always told me that. I mentioned that in the last episode. Don't change. Who you are. And there's times in my life that I let people that were just in my life to abuse me. They were my lesson, you know, like that I had to, having such a strong personality, don't look at me and be like, oh yeah, for sure. I'm like, I don't take shit. Like, I don't. I have a big personality. I'm smart. I'm charismatic. Like, it happened to me. One day I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm in a really abusive relationship. How did this happen to me? Like, that happens to the weak women. That happens to the girl that doesn't have a support system. That happens.
Those, you know, it happens to the girl that wasn't smart enough to pick up on it.
Exactly. Right? Like, but it happened. And all of a sudden I was counting calories because, well, if I'm skinny enough, then he won't cheat. If I'm good enough, or if I'm okay with the fact that he's cheating, then he just won't say that I'm worthless. Like, you know, it's like I said, the things that I've endured personally have always been such a struggle. And looking back on it, I'm so happy because I have learned so much, and God has blessed me so tremendously with remembering like who I am. And I look at myself in the mirror now and I smile and I'm so happy. And I've never been like somebody that's like, I was always a friend, I'm like, guys, I'm chronically depressed. It's fine. Like, look at my life. It's always been like surviving, you know, and I know like last time you guys were so sweet, survivor to thriver or whatever it was. And I really feel like that. Like, I'm so happy, and I love to share that with like the people that are close to me in my life. And I feel like I have this like outpouring of love because I've made it. Like, and I remember who I was before anybody didn't listen or anybody said that I wasn't good enough. And I just want every single person to feel like that, because men and women, like, they struggle with so much of the same stuff. It's just dealt with and approached very differently. And we all have things that we struggle so much with, you know, body image. Am I good enough? Am I making enough money? Am I smart enough? Am I funny enough? Like, everything. There's nothing that we're like, did it, I'm perfect, you know?
And if you're thinking that way, then that's a very
then you're on the
you do
other...
not want to be there. You don't you never want to have that thinking.
But it's also like being like, you know what? I know my purpose in life. I found it. I'm living it, and I know exactly what makes me special, and I know exactly what makes the people special around me.
Yeah.
And I try to tell all my friends, like, I'm proud of you. When they do something that makes me proud, like, I mean it. It's not just like it's Tuesday, I'm proud of you. It's like, no, like, you know, when we've caught up or whatever, it's like, I'm so proud of what you're doing. Yeah. And, you know, people in my life that are in my life now, they're like, it's so great because I can tell you really mean it. I'm like, I do. Like, I'm looking through a lens of just gratitude and understanding and humility of like my past, of where I come from, and self-acceptance, you know, and I get to raise my daughter with that. Like, she gets the happiest version of her mom now because I just hung on, and I just looked at myself and I said, maybe like you do have things that you have to grow on, but maybe it's not the things that you thought. Maybe it's just remembering who you are and getting that passion like refueled inside of me. Not just, it's funny because my business is such a big part of my life, right? Like, I have always been very career driven, workaholic, you know. But now I see that it was because I was running from my personal life. Yeah. And now I get to share all of it, and all of it makes me happy. And I wake up and I go to bed. It's like a couple weeks ago, I was crying happy tears to sleep. Never in my life have I done that, because I just couldn't believe that this was my life. And I look back, and, you know, like they say, like, if you could tell that 17-year-old girl, like, I would say we did it. Yeah. You know, like, you made it. It's been 10 years, and like, you did it. And like, you're obviously, like, I take really good care of myself. Like, I go to therapy. I do a lot of research. If I feel myself slumping, like, I make sure that I'm working out to get the endorphins, eating well, like, taking care of myself. Yeah. And it sounds so simple, but it's not. It's not.
And like, we hear this our whole life, right? Like, eat healthy, work out, you know, and it's one thing, just like you said, it seems easy in theory, but then when you do it, I know in my journey, it was definitely, it's climbing up a mountain. I still have improvements to make.
Oh, of course.
But it's like, by making that commitment, it's enabled me to be so much better in so many other areas of life, because I'm showing myself that commitment to eating healthy, to if I'm eating healthy, I'm working out. And part of it is like just this morning routine thing. It's this momentum, right? Yeah. So if I wake up early, that's like check one, right? You know, the alarm goes off at 4:10, check. go to the gym. When I'm walking out in my mind, it's almost like check. And it's on to the next thing. It's eat the oatmeal, right? It's cold shower. It's get the meditation. And all of a sudden I've done these checks. But by getting the workout in and getting a good workout in, I want to make sure I get my good post-workout in, get the shake, and then get the oatmeal and and then I eat healthier for lunch. So I've realized that it's this ripple effect by simply choosing to eat healthier. Yeah. One of the guilty pleasures for me is like sweets. Any of them, right? And I went on a little bender over the last 2 weeks, like just with the CVS opening up in the building. Oh, okay. That's dangerous because CVS is notorious for always having the best price, like cool, good candy. And anyway, guilty pleasure. No, had to cut it out. If
I'm
it's
a
in
chicken
home,
wing and a pizza girl. Yeah, like I've said,
like the savory.
Like, oh my
salty
gosh.
Savory.
Oh yeah, like fries and
ranch.
I
love those too.
You don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate against any food. I love to eat.
See, like sweets, like I'll take a bite, and my boyfriend Andrew, he'll laugh because he's like, you're just like, I'm satisfied. He's like, I want to bathe in it. Like, I want to become the ice cream. Like, having a bite, like, and it's just, I feel so satisfied. I'm like, wow, that was really good. And I'm just done. But, like, if there's chicken wings and a pizza, I'm, like, licking the buffalo sauce. Like, it's, like, everywhere. It gets really, like, so it's great. I mean, we all have it, right? It's, like, but, yeah, it's, like, taking care of myself and, like, sharing that with the people around me is like, we all take care of ourselves. You know, when I was here last time, I was talking about, you know, you said, when was the darkest place of your life? And I said 30 days ago, you know, and now it's been months. And by taking care of myself, by removing and silencing the voices that sit in a cheap seat, you know, the people that sit there and criticize you without concern, like, you have to have people that keep you accountable, that say, but if somebody's coming at you and they're saying, this is bad, this is wrong, not, can I help you? What's going on? Where is this coming from? You know, this isn't you. This, you know, you help people grow by encouraging them and letting them know, like, I care about you, so I'm seeing this, and, like, how do we take care of this? Yeah. You know, and now, like, I have my friend group, or, you know, we call it the family, right? We have family dinners, and we're all there for each other. And we have this dialogue where it's like, when one of us is down, it's not just me, Ashley, and Brett anymore. It's, like I said, like, I'm such a wimp. And, like, becoming a mom made me, like, such a wimp, but I love it. But it's like, there's so many people, and we all love each other, and we all have individual relationships. But it's like, when one of us is down, we're like, all right, what are we doing? Yeah. Do you want me to, like, dance around my house and make you laugh? Do you want to come over and have breakfast? Do you just want to watch a movie? Like, and we're all there for each other. And when one of us can't be, the other one's there. Yeah. You know, it's like, they all come, and their favorite thing to do is put Aliyah to bed. Yeah. She literally has, like, a line of people that sit outside her door to get nighttime hugs because, like, she'll, like, melt in right before. And they literally drive from different parts of Orange County, like, far, to make sure that they're there before bedtime.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, and there's...
You guys are incredible.
They're the best. I love you guys. But it's like, that's just my life now. Yeah. And I look back and I'm like, if I could never even have designed this life. Ever. And because of that, like, with my business, like, the way that I define success, the way that I define my future is changing dramatically. Yeah. And because it's fueled by passion and love, it's not trying to overcompensate to prove anyone how great I am or prove to myself, like, you can do it, because as long as you're successful, then who's going to point at you? Like, I don't want the awards. I want the family dinners. Yeah. I want, like, those moments that I get to have with those people. And it's just, it's so hard to, like, explain what it feels like to have lived your life last year. So much of it was like, I just wish the world would swallow me up, because I don't know who I am anymore. And when I went home to Florida to baptize my daughter, my mom and my sister, they had seen me, like, just lose myself completely over the last 2 years. And it was sad. It was like, I look at pictures of me and I'm like, wow, I don't know her. And when I went home, my mom and my sister, my mom cried. She was like, I see you again. Like, I felt like I couldn't reach you. I didn't know where you were. And my mom and I, even though we've sustained such a close relationship, it's like, I feel home again. I feel home within my own body again. Yeah. Like, in my heart and my soul, which is, like, so hippy-dippy, but it's true. And people can see, and, like, I look at me in photos, and I used to sit there and, like, zoom in and, like, be like, oh God, I look horrible, or my teeth, whatever it is, right? Like, girls were ruthless to ourselves. We gotta stop it. But now I look and I'm like, wow, we were laughing so hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's so different.
You just laugh at it, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm
just
just like
critiquing it like that. You relive that moment.
Yeah,
almost.
I'm like, I'm happy. That's what I look like when I'm happy. You know, and so it's crazy. So the last 5 months have been like life changing. Like I couldn't have dreamt a better life. Like having Elia, having an amazing man that supports me the way that he does, having so many. I didn't even know it was possible to have so many best friends.
Yeah.
Like, and they're all so different, and we all just like we come together, and it's family, and it's amazing. That. Yeah.
I love that. First off, congrats.
Thank you.
Something we mentioned a little bit ago, and I told you, I was like, it's crazy with the same age. I think like you have more wisdom and experience than me, and
the trauma.
You just mentioned like it's the trauma, and like you can laugh about it.
It's also where my humor comes from. I'm one of the funniest people.
Yeah.
And it's the trauma.
Yeah, exactly. No, and being sarcastic, it's a huge part of my life too. Because in business, it's like shit's always gonna go wrong. It's always gonna happen. Like things, unpredictable things where it seems like, damn, why does this happen to me? But you get over it, and it's so much easier to laugh in the moment. 2 parts. So the trauma. And I think a really good takeaway here, and a takeaway for me is, because you've gone through so much adversity, and we've all done it in different capacities, you just briefly skimmed over it. In the other interview, we went into detail and felt it, and I don't want to do that today.
No, it's totally fine.
Yeah, and like, because of that, and because you chose, I'm going to continue to grow. I'm not going to avoid this and let this consume my life, right? Yeah. Avoiding it. And I think it was, I don't know, in my life, there's a lot of people that talk about this, but the only way through adversity is head on straight through it. And this is in every area of life that we want to improve. And there's areas in my life that I'm like actively doing this too. And I'm like, I catch myself, I'm like tiptoeing around. I'm like, oh, I know I need to be doing that. I know that's the lifestyle that I want to be living, but I'm not there yet. I haven't given that up yet. So props. And the other thing I want to mention is it's so important to have a close circle of friends. And that...
And sometimes it's not a circle. Sometimes it's a triangle or a line. Like you just need
What do you mean by the shape?
Yeah, because it's like sometimes it's not a circle of people. Sometimes you just have one person. Sometimes like you just have, like before, like I was like talking about like Brett, Ashley, and I. You know, we used to call ourselves a throuple. We didn't know that there was like some like relationship polyamory connotation next to it. We thought we were like super like
that's
funny.
What I actually feel like.
No, I know. And so then all of a sudden we started getting like all these messages, and I was like, y'all, I thought like calling us a throuple was like a cute like we're 3 best friends. No, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, no new friends. I have everybody I need. And then all of a sudden, you know, there's a saying, man plans and God laughs. And then he just like kept bringing me people and being like, you know what to do. This person's here for a reason, you know, and now I have a circle. But at a time, like, I was just able to be in a triangle. And at certain times, like, I just need Ashley, or I just need Brett, or I just need Andrew, or I just need my mom, or I just need my brother. You know, it's like, it's different. And so it's like, I don't want anybody that's watching this that's like, I don't have a lot of people I can go to.
That's exactly what I was getting to.
You know?
Yeah. It is, I think it's so easy to feel. And there's times in periods of life where it's like, you can have a lot of people around, but it's like some people just aren't as close. And we're always outgrowing people. That's the other reality I had to face. Like, some of my absolute best friends for life, and I still consider them brothers for life, that were like in my childhood, K through 12, closest brothers in my mind. I'm like, no, we're always going to be like this, and we always were. And a really good friend, Leo and I from like first grade, inseparable. He was a grade above me, and like we ended up going to college. We were roommates the first couple of years, and then anyway, like life happened and we kind of went in our directions. And Grant was another person, and like there were these people that were really close, and I had always told myself there's no way they're not going to be in my life. But then that happened in college too, and I was like, damn, as my life changes, if our passions change every 3 to 5 years, or our core beliefs, or they say when we take assessments, they change every 3 to 5 years. So we're changing, we're adapting. And if we're improving, it's an exciting thing to celebrate, right? And I had to get over that. It's not that I'm ending a friendship, but there's distance. And I'm happy. And I know because we have such an authentic relationship, this is for men and women, my core belief is, I know the path is going to come back, and I know we're going to run into each other, and I'm so excited. You know I'm always here, and my network's yours. Like, and so I had to give that up, right? What I'm getting at is, you wake up tomorrow and you're still the same you I'm talking to today. We're not talking about 5 months ago and getting that crazy adversity, the deepest, darkest place you had been 30 days prior to that. You know, like early January, for me too.
First
Lowest point I'd ever felt. Yes.
I was like, this is not 2021, please.
Right? Oh gosh. I was in my bed shaking after the Bender thing. Yeah.
I was like, oh no. I was like, this is not happening. I was like, God, please throw me a bone. And he was like, just wait.
Just wait. You wake up tomorrow, Mia. and you're the same person you are today, but you don't have any of those close people to you. You are solo now. You still have the business. You're still a mother, and you have everything going. How do you maintain your happiness when you don't have someone to lean on, and when you don't have that? What would you do?
Yeah. I've thought about this a lot as like my mom gets older, and I think, like I've as much as I have experience, I've never like lost anyone to, like that I was really close with, which I'm so grateful for. But I think about those things and I'm like, what would I do? And the thing is that sometimes people outgrow you, and that's really painful. And that's happened. And it's one of those times that you have to have that core belief, like you have to be your own best friend. You have to love who you are and love what makes you who you are. And through this like journey of like rediscovering myself and like not taking myself so seriously and remembering like the only competition that I have is myself. There's no one else. I love myself. And I know that my daughter needs me. Of course, I have that as like a fueling power always. But it's okay, like, because even when I have a girlfriend of mine, Amanda, like we've broken up where we just like didn't talk. And we've always came back together throughout the years at different times when our lives kind of met up again. Yeah. And I felt what it was like to have like my best friend, like her and I, we were inseparable. And she outgrew me. Her and her husband at the time were having a baby. My husband and I were getting a divorce almost. Like it was just very different and we couldn't be there for each other and it was super painful. We look back on it, she came back and the door was still open because the love is still there, right? Yeah. So even if people can't be in your life at a certain capacity at a certain time, you don't get to stop loving them. You just have to love yourself more and remember like, okay, what is left when you take away everything at the end of the day? When I look at myself and I don't have makeup on and my hair is a mess, I still look at myself and I say, I love you. Yeah. Like you've done it. Like you're not done yet. You're never going to be done. But I really like the person that I am. Yeah. And I like the person that I try to be for strangers, for my friends, for my family, like for my daughter. I like her now, and I didn't before, and that takes a lot of self-growth, and it's a lot of work to like figure out how to like yourself, especially when you come from any sort of like abandonment, trauma, sexual assault, physical assault, abusive relationships. Like it is so hard to love yourself when you feel like, why did this happen to me? Why did I deserve this? And for anybody that's like going through that, I would just say like, you didn't deserve it. That is a them problem. It has nothing to do with you. Exactly.
I'm so glad like, you hit that point. We read each other's minds. That's exactly the takeaway here.
Yeah. It's like, it's not, it's not always about you. Yeah. And we're always like, no, it's me. If I could have done this, if I drove myself crazy, if I could just do this, then this would happen. If I was just better. But I was trying to be better at like accomplishments. I was trying to like climb this like ladder to be like, okay, if I check all these boxes, then I'll be happy. Yep. Instead of being like, if you take the time to be like, what makes you special? Yeah. Like what is about you that you bring to the world? And once you find that and you like accept it and you accept other people that like, they're gonna have things that you're never gonna have. Yeah. And you should be happy for them. Yeah. It's like, it's not a competition. Yeah, it's like, I look at my friends and there's so many different strengths from all of them. And I feel so lucky because I'm like, wow, I have this like Rolodex. Yeah. I'm like, there's nothing. I'm like, I gotta buy a house, I'm calling Brett. I need a business structure, I'm calling Ashley. Like, I need, my boyfriend, he's an aerospace engineer. Yep. So I get to be the dumb one. Yeah. Do you know how excited that is for me? I'm just like, thank you. So, it's like his brain is just like, he's a walking brain. And, it's everybody just brings all these different talents. And when you accept yourself and like, okay, this is where I fit in this bigger picture that really has nothing to do with me. Yeah. You find like a sense of peace. Yeah.